Hey, what is up, humans? It is your favorite demon, Raze Silva. And upon watching the last video, I'm realizing that my audio is not quite as. I don't know if it's because my audio is not picking up like it's supposed to, or if it's the fact that I know I yell when I don't need to, and that's because I'm kind of I can't hear. Okay, uh, TLDR, your boy here is completely deaf in my left ear, so I tend to try to keep my voice down because I know if I don't, I yell and I don't need to. So if I come across as being a little too quiet, that is why. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, so those of you who have clicked this video, this probably will not do as well as the last one, and that's fine. Also, this video is almost. Actually, no, this video is a week old. Okay, I really, really I really took my sweet ass time fucking doing this. Um, so, as y'all can see, this is uh, Rev says Desu, who is not very liked within the Twitter space. However, I am someone who I don't care about Twitter. How little I interact with anything on Twitter should tell you that. So, that being said, this and a lot of what he's talking about is way it's way done with. This is, however, it's still kind of an ongoing thing, and uh, I am very much a gamer. I've gamed for a long time. That being said, gaming is very important to me, and has been throughout the entirety of my extent here on this planet. So, that being said, even with this video being this old, there are still several points I would like to that I know that's going to be in this that I would like to kind of discuss. And so we're using Rev says Desu. So whether you like Rev or not, I feel like everyone should get something out of this, or at least that's my goal. How successful I am, I don't know. It depends on how badly my dumbass rambles. So I have stalled long enough. Let us go. I might. Do I turn this video down just a little bit? Just a smidge. Yeah, just a smidge. I don't think it should be fine. It's whatever. Anyway,
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to go over some wild updates regarding the ongoing Sweet Baby Inc. situation, starting with this article that a lot of people share with me. At first, I didn't even believe this is real. I mean, just look at this headline. It says, BBC gaming presenter Jules Hardy calls for current Sweet Baby Inc. discourse to end with a final purge of ideological opponents from the medium.
okay. So already, I also thought this was a joke. While I don't post on Twitter, I do scroll every so often, like very rarely, like maybe once or twice a week to see kind of like what's going on. Um, I thought this was a joke. I should have known better. Every time I see something like this on Twitter, and I'm like, "There's no way that's real." It normally is. Um, for one, BBC, like every news outlet in all existence, and I mean all of them. I don't care what side of the spectrum you are on, whether it's right, left, whatever. There is not a single media outlet that they aren't just all the way up their own ass. And all the ones who sit there and they follow them blindly, and then that's they only get all their information from just that, are just as bad as they are. Never do this. If all your information is only ever coming from one source, you are wrong. Period. But yeah, so and anybody who doesn't know about Sweet Baby Inc., absolute fucking joke. I had never heard of them. I didn't know that they even existed until a few weeks ago, when all of this stuff started getting kicked up. Apparently, they are a consulting firm that go to all of these big time like gaming studios and tell them, we have the power to destroy you if you don't put certain amount of representation and have a checkbox list. For one, the irony of this is they claim this is for inclusion. However, the irony of this is the exact opposite of that. And it is. Also, any artist, whether it's like drawings, like filmmaking, any kind of like artistic craft, when you have somebody that tells you you need to do this, the only response they are owed is for whoever is telling them that they need to do not what the artists themselves want to, but what they want to, that they like to demand that. The only response artists should have is to fuck off. End of discussion. You want a game that's filled with, and I'm gonna get some shit for this. You want a game that's filled with nothing but like with black people or gay people or whatever? That's fine. Make that game. Nobody will actually care. Nobody actually will care. What happens is, and this is the trap that all of these people fall into, and they're so stupid because we've told them, they've been told repeatedly what the actual problem is. It's not racism, it's not sexism, it's not homophobia or whatever phobia, that they want to throw around. The problem is you sit there and you talk down to what is the majority of your audience. You cannot talk down to somebody and expect them to not be pissed off. And the few people who are going to be like, isn't that what you're doing right? Yes, that is exactly what I'm doing right now, because we have literally told the people that talk like this woman right here, and the people, Sweet Baby, and all of the professional Twitter users who almost always end up being the biggest pieces of crap that they're pretending to not be. The harder someone virtue signals, the worse that human being is actually guilty, more than likely, of what they are trying to virtue signal. It happens every single time. But they have been told repeatedly, make a good game. That is all we want. They can't do it because they're too busy making sure that everyone who is not within what they consider to be the oppressed group is told, you're a piece of shit and you should feel bad 24/7. What did you think was going to happen? Anyway, I know I'm not actually talking about what this is, but that's kind of the point of this video. Like, it's just me kind of ranting about this. This is gonna be another really long video. Like, this video is only like 15 minutes. This is 15 minutes. This video is actually shorter than the depressed Nosagi one, and I managed to make that over an hour because I just would talk. This one is probably going to be a little bit longer, and I apologize ahead of time, like right now, for that.
Yes, that is a very wild thing to see. A member of the media calling for a final purge of gamers who disagree with her. Now, at first I thought, surely this must be an exaggeration, right? No, it's not. So here's the actual tweet that they are sourcing from her Twitter account. It's
Also, I have no okay, because this is gonna be the first thing that everybody that people are gonna bitch about. I do not care what your race is, what your sex is, whatever tickles your fancy. I don't care. But going back to a comment that I made earlier, the harder someone virtue signals, more than likely, the bigger the piece of shit they are. And the first, ironically, red flag for Twitter specifically is when they have some kind of flag in their bio and they've made it a point to put some kind of flag there. That is your first clue to probably steer clear of this person. Not all the time. I should preface this. This is not all of the time. There are exceptions. There's always exceptions to everything, no matter what it is. But for Twitter, 90% of the time, if you see a flag that's in their name, normally they're spewing shit to make themselves look good.
It says, can we all agree that for round 2 of this, it can be the final purge of these kinds of gamers? It's 2024. I've been arguing about this for decades. Can we have a last full detox of these dudes so we can get back to the positive gaming community we have been creating?
For one, no, you've been actively trying to destroy the gaming community. They have been attempting this. This specific strategy, which I don't know why I'm calling it that, but I'm going to go with that. The specific strategy that they are currently using is the same one that got them absolutely destroyed back in 2014 through the start of 16. Where they tried to spin it that all gamers are inherently racist, sexist, and violent. Because, the violent argument really worked in the mid 2000s. It really worked then, so let's try that again. Let's just tack on more shit to it. All because gamers got tired of game journalists for lying on their reviews. Like, gamers finally decided, no, enough of this shit. We're going to call you out for your bullshit. And then it got turned into something that it was not. And all of them learned that you don't bite the hand that feeds you. I'm going to be a little bit hypocritical, because I know I said when... Actually, no, I'm not, because I did cover this. My ADHD brain is just firing on all of its cylinders, and while everybody... Normally that would be a good thing for somebody, to say something like that. It is not. It is not for an ADHD person. If their brain is firing on all cylinders, that means we are going in a lot of different directions. Like what now? I am going completely off topic. I I didn't know who these people were. And actually, originally, I thought that this person was making fun of them. And this person might be like, I don't even know. I know currently this group right here is currently trying to sue or send a cease and desist to any and everybody that so much as mentions them in a negative light. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes with me.
Yes, let's get back to positivity by initiating a final purge of gamers you don't like. This is absolutely insane stuff. Remember, members of the media have been calling gamers extremists and fascists for simply joining the Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam group that is a curation list of games to avoid. However, they also feel comfortable saying things like this, calling for the purge of people who do not share their ideological views.
Which is hilarious. Because you know that this is someone who will constantly call for a boycott for something, and will do it in the most obnoxious way possible that will ultimately ruin what they're trying to do. It happens every time. Hogwarts Legacy being the big neon sign example that everyone uses, and that's because it is literally the perfect example of what not to do. If you had just boycotted, like if you had just done a normal boycott and decided to just not buy the game and not be absolute asshats, it would have been fine. No one would have had a problem with you. You'd have been left alone. But that is not what happened. This is the same thing is happening with them, except there's no, which I'm not gonna say there's no like threatening or anything, because I'm sure there is, because there can't be anything without that. It doesn't matter. Again, that's another thing. It doesn't matter what stance. Humans will be humans. You know, some of us are good, some of us are really, really shit. It's just how it is. Doesn't mean you have to like it, but that's just it's a thing. But they got every game that they are a part of got added to a Steam list to avoid, that is essentially to boycott them. Because people don't like what they are doing. And because it's them, they want to throw a fit. Anyway.
Absolutely insane. Now you can see in the replies, Melanie Mack here says this, AKA, you want to purge real gamers in favor of activists who can't hang in a multiplayer lobby without having a meltdown, or who can't navigate a single-player game without yellow paint, shiny ledges, and the characters telling them what to do. Where Jules would reply with this, saying, nah, I want to purge the hate and vitriol from gamers who refuse to allow gaming to evolve and adapt as we humans are doing. I have no problem with opposing viewpoints, but hate, violence, and aggressive behavior isn't okay in any realm you live within. And of course, when you classify...
I must say, this Melanie person, I only half agree. I only agree with this very first. This one little part is the only part of this statement I fully agree with. This though, this person is just this is someone who lies as easily as she breathes. I have no problem with opposing viewpoints. Then why are you trying to purge everybody? That's not how that works. You can't say we're gonna purge everyone who thinks this way and then say it's like I have no problem with the opposing viewpoints. And she uses this whole back half is literally her trying to cover her ass because I would like to say that she knows what she's doing, but honestly, every time I try to give like these people like a little bit of credit, they prove me wrong. So I've stopped doing it. Like hate, violence, and aggressive behavior. The hate, the violence, and aggressive behavior comes from when you sit there and you tell a whole ass group of people, the vast majority of people who are in your audience, whether you like them there or not, they're there, that they are pieces of shit. You cannot sit there and call anybody like a massive group of people or one person. You cannot sit there, look at them, know absolutely nothing about them, and but because they disagree with you, say that they are the worst human being to walk the face of the planet since Hitler. And not expect some form of pushback. You can't do it. And we keep explaining this. This keeps getting explained. And yet, their itty-bitty smooth brains cannot process it. We are 2 minutes into this video, and I'm sure I have talked for already the length of this video. Anyway, so, small tangent. Okay? I'm going to try to keep this short. Right? Back in the day, and I'm sure you know, there are some people who can attest to this. Playing video games was not cool. If you liked video games, liking video games was not cool. Liking comics was not cool. Liking anime was definitely not cool. Liking any one of these, chances are you got bullied at some point. I had the misfortune of liking all three of these things and was bullied excessively until I got to high school. Okay? You want to know what got me through the vast majority of that? Video games. Because it gave me an outlet to get out all of my frustration and anger, to calm myself. Period. Okay? TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But yeah, like just so when I get like really worked up over this, that's why.
And harassment and things like that, when it comes from people like Jules, they basically mean anyone fairly criticizing them, while also claiming legitimate harassment campaigns like that one led by a Sweet Baby Inc. employee doesn't fall under these categories. But looking at what she's saying, it is a really radical thing, okay? Let's think about this sentiment that she's sharing, okay? She's basically saying we need to purge off this section of gamers who share some ideological view amongst themselves in order to adapt and evolve as humans. That sounds like a line out of the Nuremberg trials, okay? It's absolutely insane what this woman is saying. And also check this out. One like, nearly 300 replies on an account with nearly 50,000 followers. Absolutely insane stuff. And you can see here, just like it was said in the article, she is a presenter/host for BBC. Now, moving forward, let's return to another couple of updates regarding this situation with Kotaku. Recently, there was a new order from management that was requiring
Oh yeah, So I didn't know if he was going to actually bring up Kotaku in any shape or form. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Uh, Kotaku is dead. Essentially. Finally. Nobody will actually mourn Kotaku's passing. Like, honestly, I'm surprised Kotaku has gone for as long as it has, because it's been a joke for almost 10 years straight. It's an absolute embarrassment of what it originally was.
Otaku contributors to focus more on game guides than political news type stories.
Oh yeah, the gaming journalists got told, "Hey, we need you to actually cover more games and not political bullshit." You know, the thing that a gaming journalist should do. You want to know what they did? They quit. I I wish I wish this was some kind of like really bad fan fiction. It's not.
And of course, one of the editor-in-chiefs would resign in response to that. Now, since then, there has been a bit of a power struggle among the remaining Kotaku employees. I think you can venture to guess that there's new positions opening up as a result of this, and people are trying to make their stake and claim that new spot. And you can see people like Alyssa Merchant, I don't know.
And there's no other way I could say this. This person is an absolute buffoon, and there should be a law that at all times she must wear a big clown rubber nose and the clown wig. Because that is what she is. She is a clown. And I mean that with every fiber of my being.
I don't think anyone cares. She is a senior editor at Kotaku who's been very involved in this ongoing Gamergate situation. You can see her award-winning story here, her coverage of the Sweet Baby Inc. situation, where she intentionally omitted critical details of this situation because it would make her friend.
Which, to be fair, it's just, as a typical journalist, you don't even have to be a game journalist. Anyone who their job title is journalist, I don't think any of them, they're all compulsive liars, and I don't think any of them are capable of telling any fragment of the truth if it so even contradicts them even a little bit.
In the gaming industry look bad, and she's been taking this opportunity, the spotlight, to promote herself.
When random ass YouTubers does your job better than you do, there's a problem. I'm sorry. I thought we were going. I had to stop it again for just that. When YouTubers and content creators do your job, the job that you're supposed to be doing professionally, like journalism, like reporting on stuff, when random people do a better job at it than you, it's time for you to leave.
Non-stop, including on social media, no matter the cost. Even if it's people laughing at her, criticizing her, she doesn't care because it's attention, and that's what she craves. And you can see she has been targeting other people. She has moved on from gamers generally, and she is now focused on cancellation campaigns directed at YouTubers. Here making this basically call to action amongst her community, asking for...
I'm gonna also be that guy. Whenever you have a job that's about reporting, and this is the first thing that you go for, something like this, you should no longer have that job. if I owned I- let's say if I owned a journalism business, and I found out that one of my employees was doing shit like this, they would be fired so quickly that they would not have no time to react at all.
Information about a streamer slash gaming personality who leans very hard into Christianity and homophobia. And they made it very clear based on the context. They were talking about Melanie Mack.
Now, I will say I don't know a whole lot about this person, this Melanie person. Chances are we would agree on very few things. I'm going to throw that out there. Because one quick look, because I did do a quick look at, because I knew all this was going on because I was watching it happen in real time. But one quick look at this Melanie person's Twitter told me instantly. Me and her would argue and vehemently disagree on about like 75% of things.
Who would reply eventually once it became very clear who Alyssa was talking about, and she would say basically, on an initial glance of how Alyssa's been handling this, clearly her intentions are very bad faith. Now, shortly after that, she would make another tweet, this time addressing a more general group of personalities slash streamers who have seen a meteoric rise in popularity shortly after adopting more reactionary views, basically asking people to share information. And of course, this invites a lot of bad faith actors who are looking to cancel certain YouTubers and streamers by sharing information with people like Alyssa.
Basically what I'm doing right now. Rev is doing it in this video, and which is why people notoriously don't like Rev. And I'm not gonna lie, Rev kind of toes that line between making sense and being just so cringe that you want to just self-implode on yourself. But he's got to be somewhat entertaining, I guess, with it. Oh yeah, I only remember because I saw Asmongold's name. Asmongold is a lot more intelligent than I initially gave him credit for. I'm not gonna lie, initially my thoughts on Asmongold was he was a bit of a buffoon. I might do an Asmongold video next. Who knows?
Now later,
Asmongold might be coming in the future, because I'm not gonna lie, the last couple week and a half or so, I've been watching Asmongold, and I've been thoroughly surprised with how many of his takes I have agreed with, which is odd.
Directly name one of these people that she's looking into, and that would be Asmongold, and she'd be asking people for information surrounding his apparent shift.
I'm gonna leave it. Keep going.
Content.
This Allison person has
really surprising that she would select Asmongold,
almost
she definitely has a bit of a hate boner for him. And
yeah, she has a massive hate boner for Asmongold, and it's kind of just, it's kind of funny.
And in particular, he has directly addressed people like Alyssa and others trying to cancel him over recent events.
I agree with him, but at the same time, these are the same Kotaku people that were trying to find the real names of the guys that were in the Sweet Baby Discord. They would very quickly get you fired from your job without...
I didn't even realize this clip was here. It writes itself. Literally... Oh God. But see, he's right. It's shit like that I was just like, wait a minute. It is like in almost all his videos, this is I would hear him say shit like this, and I'm like, wait a minute, is Asmongold actually based? What is happening? What is my world right now? Because, like I said, like before, I was just like, he's just another one of those buffoons on the internet. Like, and then I realized that he had my pause is not doing this poor man any favors, but but it was funny because I was like, wait a minute.
Out a second thought and pat themselves on the back whenever they find out that it worked. Yeah, they
100% would. Oh, speaking of Dragon's Dogma 2, fantastic game. Spear Hunter's pawn has literally stayed in my party the entirety of the game. I cleared the game. I got one of the endings, and then I did a new game plus. Her pawn has not left my party.
They literally tried to cancel you. Yeah, they tried to shut me down. They tried to get my sponsorship with Capcom pulled because I had the audacity to think that Sweet Baby Inc. might not necessarily make every video game better. And I even had the audacity to say that other people had the right to have that.
Again, based. Sweet Baby Inc. is one of those people that they think their shit don't stink. They are fully under the impression that everything that they touch turns to gold, when in fact that, with the exception of Spider-Man 2, and let's face it, it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is not going to fail. And I think God of War Ragnarok also. With the exception of those two games, every single title they have been involved with has failed miserably. If that doesn't tell anybody anything, I don't know what to tell you. There is no hope. There is no hope. There is no hope for you if you don't see the problem, what the actual problem is.
That opinion.
And to her intentions behind all this, I think it's very obvious. Alyssa and Kotaku in general are very desperate for clicks. They are not in a good space right now. They are very, very desperate. And
going off of this little comment, I know I'm probably annoying the absolute dog water out of everyone, and I'm sorry. I can't help it. This is how I do these videos. You know, that's just how it is. Going to this comment, like, where they're like, witnessed the shift firsthand. I've gone back quite a bit on a lot of his older videos. Asmongold hasn't shifted on anything. It's just that now people like this, like Alyssa, is in the spotlight, and he's making them look like the clowns that they are.
Talking about people like Asmongold and Melanie Mac, they don't care how many people dogpile them and make fun of them and fairly criticize them. They just want attention to save the sinking ship. Now, a lot of people have been pointing out this shift, right? They're talking about Asmongold and other people's.
I might catch a little bit of flack for that. I think she looks like a drug-headed teenager who hates daddy. In this picture. And then in this one, which is apparently before this is apparently really old. This is supposedly before she started working at Kotaku. She's absolutely stunning. She is absolutely stunning in this photo right here. Like, if this is what happens when you work at Kotaku, ladies, find yourself a different place to work at, because if this is what it does to y'all, like, that's horrendous. This has never been attractive. This is a cry for help.
Shift. Well, here's a shift some people have been noticing: a pre-Kotaku versus post-Kotaku shift. With
the tattoos are sick, though. I will say, like, it's like the couple like that she's kind of got like right here on her arm, and then like I'm not entirely sure what this is, but I mean it's okay. The leg ones are kind of like really lame. I'm not gonna lie, like, but I do kind of like. I specifically kind of like this tattoo right here. Like, it's a good tattoo. It's just everything else.
Alyssa here, which is really funny. I mean, honestly, this just kind of looks like the average.
Also, the fact that she's got the craft. She has the craft shirt, which is one of the most cheesiest movies. This it brings the whole like I'm an edgy teenager who goes against the grain. It really brings that whole look that she's got right here going. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm moving on. It's just
liberal arts college, but anyways, moving on. We've also seen Mark Kern here alert Asmongold that they were coming after him once again, where Asmongold would reply saying if she wants to know what the motivation or reasoning is behind my content, she can just DM me directly. Now,
I did also see the clip that took place like almost like a day or like after this. Is he added the comment that she has to unblock him also, and then message him. So she has him blocked, which is, you know, I feel like if you're blocking people like just because they agree with you, like there's nothing actually wrong with that. I think it's kind of chicken shit, but hey, you know, it is what it is.
of course, she's not going to do that because it's a lot easier to make these general posts where bad actors will reach out and share information with Alyssa with the hopes of hurting Asmongold simply because they don't like him, and that's what she's doing with everybody involved in this situation. But speaking of Mark Kern here, he has once again pointed out a very weird pattern of behavior with Alyssa, where she's basically playing this like cat and mouse game where she is blocking, unblocking, following, and then repeating that cycle over and over again with...
Which is chicken shit. If you're going to block somebody, block them. Even if it's for a dumbass reason, like, I don't agree with you. Like, if you're going to block somebody, leave them blocked. Leave them blocked. You can't see them. They can't see you. It's done. It's over with. The instant you unblock somebody to shoot out like, oh, cheeky one-liner at them and then hurry up and block them again, no, like, you're a chicken shit.
His account. It's very strange. She might have a crush on him. I'm not sure. But moving forward, Alyssa has been busy. She got another tattoo, and this is something people have been talking a lot about. Here is a zoom in of the message. It says, all men are enemies. Now,
and they want to know why none of their shit is successful. Because they are incapable of making characters that will literally be the embodiment of this. Anybody who doesn't even play video games can tell you the vast majority of gamers are men. So what happens when you make something, the entire purpose is to sit there and be like, all men are shit? It's gonna blow up in your face. Is this a dead horse? Yes, and I will continue to beat it.
a lot of people have been huffing their own farts and acting like this is some very, very deep message because it's quoting something. I don't really think the original source is really relevant when you've seen her pattern of behavior.
The only thing it is quoting is someone who has spent too much time on Twitter because chances are they are fatherless and had zero structure growing up and don't know how to act like an adult.
here. I think this is a message that is directed towards people she does not like, and that's a lot of men, in particular male gamers. Now, returning to Alyssa's previous tweet asking for information about particular personality and streamers, we would see a reply from an individual named Irina Perea, where she would say this: "Let's see how my shitstorm pans out. Talking about female biology is apparently an extremist position." Now, shortly we will get some context on this statement, but who is this individual? While checking out her account, she is the CEO of Unleashed Games, a game...
I'm going to briefly only skip over this a little bit because this video is already long as all shit. So, this is someone who, apparently, this will forever be their legacy. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a whole lot of games to really show this, but anytime there is a character selection, I am almost always a female character. And it's not male gaze, it is because female main characters are badass. Almost every medium that I enjoy, my favorite character is almost always a badass female. Hell, my top two favorite... Okay, I can't say top two, because top two is my OG spot. So, my top three favorite superheroes of all time, two of them are female. It is Laura Kinney, better known as X-23, who is my number one favorite. I absolutely love her. I specifically own almost every single comic book issue she is in. If that doesn't say anything, I don't know what will. My second favorite is, of course, Wolverine. Because Wolverine was my favorite for a long time. And then Laura just kind of replaced him when she, became a thing. But my third favorite is Raven from the Teen Titans. My fourth favorite comic book character is Rose Wilson, who is also from DC, that almost nobody knows. One of the best characters writing wise in all of video games, I think, is Rose from The Legend of Dragoon. Hell, it is her, that is the character and the game that got me invested in stories in video games. And again, anytime it's a character creator or whatever, I am a female character. So, I mean, this right here, wouldn't be a problem. The problem is how fucking condescending this bitch is. She's immediately they're gonna hate our game just because we didn't put any white men in it. And you wondered what, and you got ratioed. Big surprise. With 22 likes and 111 quotes. That I promise you, with the exception of maybe 5 of these tops, these are all dunking on this woman for this take. and then she ultimately like protected her account and apparently her company's whole account that boasted that she was all for like open dialogue and this, that, and the other. Fucking as soon as she made, like, within 24 hours of her making this tweet, everything was protected. Stop fucking attacking whole ass groups of people that are the vast majority of what's going to be your audience. Stop doing it. I will, like, I know they're not going to listen. I know the people that listen to this, people like her, won't listen either. But stop doing it. Stop it.
Just wait until they notice that none of our starting characters in our alpha build are white males. None out of 6.
Anyway,
now that's a very weird. Also, I'm glad you're listening to people, right? Let's see Irina, based on her company's code, continuing to respect.
This is funny. This is her commenting on this shows just how much she is getting tilted, because if she was able to actually read the room at all, she wouldn't have even begun to respond to this, because this person knows what's about to happen. Yeah, this is the last thing I wanted to talk about. So, let me find. Let me find it, because I know it's in here. Okay, so apparently there was this game conference, and this is gonna be the last thing, because I think that's literally the rest of his video. Anyway, there's this game conference that fucking apparently, instead of talking about video games, it was a bunch of women that not only didn't talk about video games, apparently spent the whole panel talking about having periods. That's all I'm gonna add to that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Like that's it. That's gonna be this video. It's they talked about having periods. I wish I was making that up. And then got mad when people are like, this is a video game convention. Like, they got mad at people for telling them to talk about video games at a video game, I'm sorry, not a convention, a conference. They got mad because people were like, this is a video game conference, fucking talk about video games. And they went, no, we are women. Therefore, shut the fuck up. This video turned into something that I don't know. This was interesting. Anyway,